Well, welcome back to Dartmoor, everyone. We're in a new place, but an old new place, as in those of you that would have watched my videos a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, all on this channel, just go back in time, you will recognize this area. This is the northeast side of Dartmoor. We often tend to go to sort of the northwest side, sort of around the Brat Tor, Yes Tor, Great Links Tours area. But we used to, in the very early days of camping, we used to come here, particularly in the winter. I've walked around here many a winter's day, back in the day, and back in those days I was a bit fitter and I used to have a bit more sleep and energy, and we used to get here at sort of 8 o'clock in the morning, and basically we've walked down here, so we've got Button Hill just over there, I believe, and there's another hound tour down there. Bizarrely, I don't quite know why there's two hound tours on Dartmoor, but there's two. There's one that has maybe arguably the world's best hot dogs. The Hound of the Basket Meals hot dogs. Oh, I miss those. So they're very, very tasty. So check them out. Hardly ever get there, but I do like their hot dogs when I do get one there. And then the other hound tour, so that one's very, very, very publicly accessible, let's say. You know, it's very easy. There's a car park just below, and it's like a 5-minute walk. So if you like 5 minutes, it's not very far. Just up a hill to Hound Tour, and the Hound of the Basket Meals hot dogs are in the car park. I doubt they're there now. It's probably a seasonal thing. But we're on this side, and like I said, we used to go, back in the day, we used to go up to, sort of along here, up to Hound Tor, then up to Hanging Stone Hill over that way somewhere, and then down, so long ago, it's kind of testing the old memory box, Hanging Stone Hill, and then was it something, well, is that down further anyway, it's something Horse or something, and then you just keep going further and further, and then you get down, cross a waterway, up to Stat's house. It's not a real house, it's just some stones. And then from Stat's house over to the forest, past, is it Fenworthy Reservoir? Can't remember the name, but I think it's Fenworthy. Anyway, past the reservoir, which is this side of all those trees over there, and then camp down there by the bridge, which is probably where we will end up the last night. And then we'd camp there, And then the next morning I was usually up at dawn and gone quite often with sunrise or just after sunrise back in those days. And of course from there it's like a 10 minute, 15 minute walk to the car. It really was close. But we did, you know, we may have camped close to the car, but we did come out here and walk that distance each time before camping. I don't know how far it was. Must be a good, I don't know, what, 10 miles, 14, 15 kilometers minimum. It's a trek. But we've just been doing other walks around here, particularly on the south moor, just chilling out and relaxing. And I thought, well, we haven't been up this side for, like I said, it's been a while since I've done around here. It must be 5 odd years since I've been this section. It's been a while. It's been long enough that driving here, I didn't put anything in the sat nav. I thought I'd just about remember how to find the place to park the car, and I did, but I did take, well, I took one wrong turn, only one. Other than that, it was just guesswork, and I think it's this way. Oh, I recognise that. I think it's this way. Oh, I recognise that. And then it was for ages and ages. I don't know if we're going the right way now or not. And then I just saw something. Oh, I recognise that. Okay, yeah, no, we're definitely going okay now. And then we got to where we needed to park. Because it's not freezing cold, we've stuck with the trail shoes. But I got some 360 socks that I'd ordered, I don't know, maybe earlier in the year or something like that. So I'm wearing those with one liner pair of socks underneath, and we'll see how we get on, you know, like that. It's just how we used to do it until we went soft and started wearing boots when it was cold and wet quite a lot. But I felt like we ought to just, you know, step back half of a step to, you know, to how we used to do it. And that's waterproof socks in the winter, trail shoes, and liner socks under the waterproof socks for, you know, a little bit of extra warmth and comfort. I've never camped around any of this area other than at the bottom of that little hill over there, so it's a little bit of a mini adventure coming back here. So I'm sure I've seen people camp on Steepleton, and I'm sure I've seen someone camp on Hanging Stone Hill, but I'm kind of thinking I might just head to Steepleton. One, it's not very far. Mind you, Hanging Stone isn't really a million miles away either. Because we have got 3 days here, and I don't want to be walking, you know, a million miles. So I'm kind of sort of thinking, well, today let's just do a bit, find somewhere to camp, and then tomorrow sort of head south a bit and try and find somewhere to camp, you know, just south of here on the North Moor. We won't go a million miles, like I said. And then on Thursday for the third night, we'll head back to that spot over there and just pitch up there, so we know that, so, and that's nice and easy. Okay, well, we're at the main crossroads here, so you've got a stone circle here for all you Druid fans or anybody who likes stone circles. I think Les is particularly interested in the water that this stone circle contains. So what we'll do is we'll go through briefly some of the tours around here. So that's Westmill Tor over there, I think. You've got Oakley Tor here. You've got West Mill Tor here. That one up there, that one there is Row Tor. I don't know what that is over there, to be honest. That's not Row Tor. I think Row Tor is that one. That's East Mill Tor, Oakley Tor. That one over there might be West Mill Tor. That's Yes Tor. And that's just another bit of Yes Tor. Then here we got Hound Tor. You've got Wild Tor. And then on the horizon is Hanging Stone Hill. And then the bit that I couldn't remember is White Horse Hill or something. And then that's Steepleton Tor over there. So that's a little rundown of the tours around here, or most of them anyway. I'm sure some people will correct one or two minor errors, but I think that's generally what they are. So I see a path through here, so I don't see the point in going to Hound Tor and then, you know, then to Steepleton Tor. So we'll basically just, I think this path is going down to this path down here. There seems to be more trails. I don't remember, I have to say, I don't remember a trail down here 5 odd years ago. It might have been here. I can't say that it wasn't, but I think that's new. Well, you know, comparatively new. I don't remember, looks like a vehicle trail, because that one up there, that's the main one that goes past that stone circle up to Hound Tor, which is just that one there. I think you can camp at Hound Tor. I've definitely I saw the army with bivouacs and tarps up at Hound Tor, so there must be something at Hound Tor. But well, like I said, I think we'll head over to Steepleton. It's not particularly windy. There's a breeze. I don't think it's going to get above 25, and it's miles per hour. And it's supposed to ease off as well into the evening. The whole forecast for the next 3 days, I think, is pretty much like this, really. Just a breeze, cool to cold, but not freezing, not exactly mild. There's not supposed to be rain, although that obviously could change being we're on Dartmoor, but yeah, it's just, looking at the forecast, it's just overcast, cloudy, dank weather. It's kind of funny coming back around here and seeing old haunts again. I think I've been up to Steepleton once, because normally I would just go straight up that way, Hanging Stone, and then, you know, Stat's house. But I know definitely at least once I kind of added on Steepleton Tor. So we will have to cross a brook. I don't think it's particularly big. It's quite high up the valley, so it should be fairly easy to cross. We've had a lot of rain, so there might be some degree of water in it, but it should be crossable. Well, so far, I'll show you my feet. These, again, for those of you that know, the ones who are here, you know, back in the day, you know, I just haven't worn them for a long time, but this is the Innovate 345, I think these are. And I don't wear them very often because they're so ridiculously comfortable. But Amazon. Innovate stopped making these, well, you know, like 8-10 years ago. And to be honest, it's probably the best trail shoe that they ever made, arguably. So I just haven't really worn them. I tend to wear other Innovates or mainly other Innovates. I did divert when they stopped making these. I did try Hoka, which, funnily enough, I look on the groups and the forums and Hoka. Oh, have anybody tried them like years ago? Personally, I didn't like them. And in fact, I turned an ankle really badly in a pair of Hokas, and I just I wouldn't touch them. Oh God, again. For the first time, my left foot is now swimming in a little water, but I think the foot is dry. I think people worry too much, you know, about wet feet too. Admittedly, if you're going to be, you know, congregating in camp, you know, admittedly, you don't want to be, you know, unless it's warm, and even then it's not very nice. But, you know, admittedly, if you're congregating, you're out with your mates, you're out with your rubbers, you're out with your mate. Oh, Tony, you and your mind. You're out with your mates and, you know, you're sitting around camp chatting, you know, talking about all the birds you've conquered. Or not, in my case probably. Anyway, distracted myself again. You know, then admittedly you probably do want to be, you know, you do want to have, you know, dry, cozy feet. So my type of camping is the type of camping where if my feet do get wet, and indeed even cold, not frozen, obviously we don't want frozen feet, but you know, if they do get cold, well, wet and a bit on the cooler side, as long as you keep walking and you're not standing around for too long, then cold, wet feet, whilst it's not ideal, not very nice, if your footwear is more comfortable than heavy boots and it's not absolutely freezing, it's fine. Just get into camp, set your tent up, get into your sleeping bag, eat and drink, and your feet will soon warm up. Just dry your feet, obviously, and you'll soon have cozy feet. Obviously, like I said, if you're out with your friends and you're congregating, then you want to have, you know, that's when I like also sealskin socks and such like, because then even if my shoes are wet, if I've got shoes, you know, obviously if you've got waterproof boots and they're dry inside, then it doesn't, you know, that's fine. But if it's you know, I'm trying to walk and talk. Yeah, that's when like sealskins or 360 socks or something like that. It doesn't have to be heavy sealskin socks or heavy 360 socks. Just really the lightest ones that they do, just so that you can put them on your feet, keeps your feet warm and dry, and then you can then put them in your wet shoes. And that will, to a large degree, you know, keep your feet cozy. We'll camp on the top today. It's not going to be windy, and we so rarely do summit camps. And it's Steepleton Tour's hardly a summit, but it is on top of a tour, so I think we'll load up with water down the bottom. It's really not that far up to have to carry it, so we'll carry it up there. I remember, I was going to stop talking, but I remember, I don't know, maybe 6-7 years ago, those trees over there, I think you can park over there, whether you still can, I don't know, but I remember taking a mum over there. It's funny, even though she's still with us, it kind of brings a bit of a lump to the throat thinking about that, to be honest. Oh, fuck. Shit. Oh, she's 80 now, fucking hell. Still could go on a while longer, I hope. Like I said, the dementia hasn't really taken her, thank God. It's just sad when you sad when you see things like that. Anyway, but yeah, I remember I brought her down here. I don't think it was that long after Sue died, maybe like 2 or 3 years. It was after I was camping, because I was showing her where not exactly, obviously, because we were just in the car, but I was kind of like driving her around and showing her different areas. We're going to try and keep off sad, emotional things, and let's get down here, because it's coming up to 3 o'clock. So whilst I really don't think we're in any danger of you know, not finding something, because I'm very sure there's something up there. There is a green area over there, but now I'm closer, it looks like it's on a slope. This bit is slowing us down, but if we didn't find anything up Steepleton, for sure there's a path up there that will take us up to Hanging Stone. And I've seen a photo of someone camped up there, so, you know, with a pinch we could head there and camp. Okay, so we're going to go past those cows. You can see the flagpole up there, so there's no flags, there's no firing, on this moor, you know, this week. There wasn't last week. I was going to come here last week, but my mum enjoys the cricket, and I used to watch like loads of cricket with her. So, you know, I really was thinking that it was the World Cup semi-finals. I didn't get to see it all in the end anyway, but it was World Cup semi-finals Wednesday and Thursday. last week, and I was kind of thinking, okay, well, let's do a couple of cheddar trips, which I did, and I did a video on one of them. The other one I just went there and walked, just for day trips, not camping, just a day trip. Twice last week. You know, if you had an emergency or something like that, I mean, it's not perfect, but you could put, you know, a shelter through there, you know, a small shelter of some degree. It slopes down. It's far from ideal. Or you could just put a bivvy there if you had an emergency. A little bit more runny than I was thinking. I think what we'll do is we'll cross over first. I'm not standing on that stuff there. That is for sure. It looks quite slippery. We might have to put up with wet feet. It's quite fast through there and quite deep. I'm not sure whether we might be able to get across down there. Like I said, it doesn't matter if my feet get wet because I've got these waterproof socks on. So, oh yeah, what I was going to add about the waterproof socks, it doesn't actually matter. You'd almost be better going up, wouldn't you, than down. It doesn't actually matter if waterproof socks leak. Okay, so one little tip. That's quite fast flowing through there. And I don't know how deep it is. It doesn't look too deep, but it's flowing quite quickly there. Yeah, it really doesn't matter if your waterproof socks leak, because, like I said, it doesn't really matter if you get wet feet. I know it's not very comfortable. The important thing is that when you get, you know, into camp, that you are able to dry, you know, that you're able to dry feet out and warm them up in camp. Because in camp, if you think about it, you know, you're going to be in your sleeping bag, especially in the winter, especially if you get to camp before dark, and you know, and you don't get going yeah. Oh, yeah. And you know, you probably won't get going until 9 or 10 the next day. So if you have to put your wet shoes and socks on, here we are. So if you have to put your wet shoes and socks on, you might better step over there. Then you're only going to have wet feet for, you know, 8 hours or something like that, and then dry them out again. You're not going to get trench foot you know, in just, you know, just a few hours. I think we go on about, you know, needing dry feet too much. It's kind of like you just got to kind of get used to it, really. Oh, there, we should be able to step across here carefully. Okay, all right, well, we stepped across without falling in. So another tip there when you want to cross a river, don't do the Tony thing that I started to do and go down, go up. Because chances are when you go up, it'll get narrower, not so much water, not so fast, and you can probably, you know, even step across. I think there's several places over there where you could step. Okay, well, we're going to get water here. We're not going to bother filtering it because, you know, quite clearly the place here is completely and utterly polluted, and, you know, we're all going to die if we don't filter our water. So, you know, we're not going to bother filtering it. We never filter our water here. But you better filter it for your own safety though, because I'm going to get my water. All right, well, we've got our water. Unfortunately, there's a casualty, obviously been there quite a while. Lassie, come on. So obviously for your own safety, you know, filter your water. I see things like that, and people say, but that's, what happens if that's in the water? You're still not filtering your water? No, because the chances, odds of something like that being in the water, it's not impossible, but it's slim. Especially where there aren't even any sheep. I mean, obviously you've got more, you know, a bit more chance here, but I just sort of say, well, anything that's going to get in the water, I think it's going to get diluted down so small as to have very, very little chance of having a problem with you. So I really just don't worry about it. Well, we've reached camp. It's 20 to 4. So we've probably got here, you know, in a good time. It'll be dark in, so the government says we've walked 6 kilometres. It's taken just over 2 hours, which is not bad really. That's about 3 kilometres an hour over here. So I must admit, for me, that's not too bad actually. Ascent 223 metres, descent 60. Average heart rate 125, maximum 175. Still breathing. Tempo, anaerobic 3.5, aerobic 5, loading 212. I don't know what those figures mean. Probably mean that I'm going to die in a minute. And then it says overreaching. I've only walked bloody 6 kilometres. It shows how unfit I am. Overreaching, acute low 269, whatever that means. Recovery 70 hours. Well, 70 hours, I've known it say like 4 days before now. So it'll kind of be interesting to see what it says in the future next. We'll try and set it for the next few days. Okay, well, we've got this spot here. I think this is Steepleton Tor. There's no secrets here. You know, I think this is a well-known spot, and there's quite a few spots on the top, probably over there. There's a couple over by the, well, one by those stones. Lassie! But it was quite wet. I've not checked whether pegs will go in here, but there's one here. There's maybe 1 or 2 dotted down there. Probably if there was a group of 4 or 5 or 6 of you, although to be fair, I don't think that number should be camping in one spot. But if it was a school group or something like that, then you would probably find several spots around here. Can't say all would be super comfortable, but there are spots around here, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and pitch in here. It's not ideal, it's not as wide as I'm thinking. I'm going to have to get the Durston over very close to that stone, and then because of the angle that it will go, it's kind of going to go through there, then the door will be over here. But it's actually quite big, isn't it? Because it's actually gonna come over this way. I think I'm gonna have to get it over that stone because I want that flat bit there. Otherwise, there's maybe, you know, a flat bit, you know, through there. It's I must admit, now I'm sort of thinking about it and looking at it, it's not as, you kind of forget sometimes how big some of these shelters are. So you can see we've got a nice flat area here for cooking on, and then that flat area over there I'll put my pack or something. It would have been better having the inner coming across here, this flat bit here, but then that would have meant that this porch kind of had to be over these stones, which clearly, you know, isn't practical. And if I turned it around, it would be the same, you know, the shape is again wrong, you know, for me. Dan, I know you probably won't watch, but could really do with a right-handed or a left-handed configuration for squiffy-handed people. If you ever make one, can you send me one? So my head will have to be this end here, and hopefully it is not too cold because the wind is coming straight across here, and it's quite high off the ground. But then by pitching it high, then I should have some safe place there to cook. I know I can't realistically be cooking down here because that's going to be too uncomfortable with my head up there, and I can't. I could sleep this side, but I think the ground might slope that way. Maybe I can have my head there, but then I've still got that bit over there, and that looks a bit more slopey there. But it depends how breezy. I might be able to sleep that way. It depends how breezy it is under there. I need to get in there in a minute because it's about 20 minutes until dark. It's already 4:05. As you saw in the time lapse, I still had to move 2 corner pegs to get it, you know, very tight. You probably could pitch it, you know, a little bit lower. That's clearly, you know, pitched off the ground. I think if it was very much colder, I probably would be lowering those poles an inch just to get it lower to the ground. But I don't think it's, you know, I probably will do the inner up tonight as I've got an inner, and we'll kind of see how it goes. I think we've well and truly got the space up here to ourselves. I haven't seen or heard anyone. I'd be very surprised if someone came this far out. You can see headlights just through there. So you can park there. I have parked there a couple of times, or in that area, and you can park over. There's a couple of places way over there where you kind of like you're on the moor, but it's kind of like the outskirts. So, you know, if you know anyone, you know, disabled or, you know, with less mobility, in fact, where that car's going, I think is probably a work car. You know, I think that's off the main road, but I'm not sure. There are some roads which are publicly accessible in that area. So, as I say, you know, if you are with someone who can't get out here, but they want to have a little bit of experience of being quite close to a tour, but not on a public road, and then, you know, near route or road tour, you can drive close. Not very close, but close. The Cricket or Solo Mid XL would have been better, because then I could have pitched it along the back here and put the ground sheet or your inner, if you want an inner, you know, at the back where it's flat and low to the ground, and then that bit over there. But we'll see how it goes. I think tonight's the coldest night. It is starting to get quite chilly on the hands now. I don't know what the temperature is, but it's probably about 5 or 6. It's probably about 5 or 6 degrees. So like I said, tomorrow we're gonna head, there should be a trail, there should be like a path or something from up here. I'm sure there will be, yeah, like right through down there, and then there'll be a trail or a track that will go right to the top and then over the other side. And if you think we did 6 kilometers to get here, and we found this by 3:30. The only thing is, tomorrow night, I don't know. I knew where we were coming today, even though I'd never been here or seen this. I was pretty confident that we could camp here. But tomorrow, I don't know where we're going to camp. So, but we didn't leave until nearly 2. It was about 2 o'clock, 1:30. It's about 1:30 when we got going. So, you know, today. So tomorrow we'll probably get going by, well, I'll aim for 11, but really, you know, even 12 o'clock would still give me 3 hours, which is, you know, that's plenty of time to get down that way. Okay, so you arrive in camp. It's getting dark. It's nearly 4:30. And, you know, you've got half an hour of daylight. So before you take your shoes off, you know, make sure that you have enough water for the night. And realistically, you don't need to get out again. I know many people like to put their shoes on and go to the loo, but, you know, you can bring a small bottle and just use that as a pee bottle if you absolutely refuse to go in the grass. But I just go in the grass in the vestibule. Once I'm in camp, I try and get used to just peeing in the grass, because I'll just soak in the grass. So anyway, once you're in camp, then you can start getting everything out, you know, that you've brought with you. So we'll see what we have brought with us. So we've got the cooker. So we're going to put the cooker there. We've got a cup for drinking. We've got some fuel. We've got food. So I'm going to put my food to my left. I've got 2 cheese and a packet of crackers. This is food for 3 nights. I always bring a lot of food. More fuel. I've got stuff sacks. I thought, well, just for a change, I won't bring my MLD super lightweight packs. stuff sacks, I'll bring something else. So in this one, I've got spare sealskin socks if I need to get out and I want dry, warm feet, then I could just put those on for walking out and about. I've got a warm beanie hat, and I've got surgeon's gloves. Really, if I need to perform an operation, really that's just for if it's cold and wet and I want to put the tent away. I've got spare warmer gloves than the ones that I'm currently wearing, and I've got merino socks, which if it was much colder walking, I would wear on my feet. So that's why I brought those with me. So don't say, which I've heard before, you got too many socks. That's in case it gets cold, because remember, I haven't got boots. I've got trail shoes and they're not waterproof. So I've just got those to go under the waterproof socks. Oh, but then they're gonna get wet. Yes, but the more insulation that you have under your waterproof socks, even if they get wet, within reason, the better. So that's what I've got in there. So quite likely won't need anything in there, but we've got it, just in case. I've got my tea, which I'm going to put there. I've got I've got a towel for wiping my hands, and then I've got a lightweight insulated jacket. So I've not this trip bought a fleece. I'm going to try moving away from fleece and using a light synthetic jacket. So this is an Arc'teryx SL jacket, so I might very well put that on, later. So that I'm going to put there. More fuel. In here I have a warm insulated jacket. Normally I use down, but Chris and a few people have mentioned the RAB generator as being a very warm synthetic jacket. So I thought I'd get one of those. I got it on offer. Obviously RAB aren't going to give me anything, but I got it on offer, and that was too good an offer to turn down. I found it somewhere online. It was like £70 off or something, so I thought I'll get that. That's my power packs and such like in there. That's my dinner, breakfast, soup, everything food wise in there. Oh, that's my emergency kit and first aid kit. If you want any videos on first aid and a repair kit, it's not really emergency, but first aid and repair kit, I have got some videos on that on here somewhere. This is a ground sheet. Maybe one of the nights, maybe the last evening, if I can have a little bit of time to play around, I might try just a ground sheet. That's toilet paper, snack bars. Like I said, I've got a lot of food. That's why my pack's always so heavy, because I always bring more food than I'm ever going to need. But I sometimes get through it, and I'd rather carry, more than not enough. Pillow. That's the inflatable bag for the X-Therm. I've got the new NXT X-Therm here. I will thank Cascade Designs for that. They were kind enough. I did ask, and they were very kind to send that out. I've got the quilt, which I've got in here. I brought the toggle things. Whether I use them or not, I don't know, but I did bring them. And I think that's and earplugs if needed. The next thing to do, get the inflatable mat inflated and think about getting into bed, because people say, what do you do, you know, at night? Well, you get into bed. you don't stay out in the cold. Get into bed, cook, drink, you know, eat, be merry. Move. So obviously now, because we've got this big vestibule over here, then we can put that, we'll just put that pack there. Obviously, if we had a vestibule somewhere else, we would just put it somewhere else, but we've got it there. That's what I say, that vestibule there is good for putting your shoes and your pack and such like, but it's not really any good for anything else. And then obviously you've got your other bit, but it's over there, and it's kind of out the way. But I think I'm going to do the door up in a minute, try and get Lassie, put Lassie's bed down and try and get Lassie over there, I think, and then I'm going to get this inflated and get into bed. And it's getting quite dark and cool, so I think I'm going to get going. So I'm going to turn the recording off and we will catch up a bit later.